subscribe to Sporting Icons to stay in touch with all the top news. God bless you all.
Right, so Triple G had his post-fight press conference where the members of the press would ask him questions about his thoughts on the fight. Now, he had a translator with him, so he was speaking in his native language, and so his translator would just transfer it from English into whatever else. I'm not too sure why Triple G needed a translator. His English is perfectly fine, or I can only presume it's because not only is he physically hurt, but he's probably emotionally hurt as well and doesn't quite have the words to put into English. Maybe that's why, but ultimately that doesn't even matter. But facts are, Triple G, champion in the ring and out the ring. I haven't watched the replay yet. I do have it, but I haven't watched the replay again just yet. So at the minute, I'm still convinced that Triple G won that fight, as are many of you guys as well. There are a few people who believe Canelo won it, which we'll get into in a second. Now, Triple G was humble, and he congratulated Saul Canelo Alvarez. He called him a real warrior and a real champion, and he expected Canelo to do what he done, which was stand in the middle of the ring and trade. And he does feel that he won the fight, so he does feel aggrieved by that, and rightly so. As I said, until I watched the replay again and watch it with a fresh pair of eyes, because obviously it was what 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning watching it with tired eyes. So maybe I got swayed by the commentary from BT Sport, maybe. So once I watch it again, I'll let you guys know, do I still feel that Triple G won it or not? So Triple G, as I said, he was humble in all this. And I do have a little bit of a thing, because I know a lot of people are saying, are you mad? Of course Canelo won that fight. A very small minority, by the way, but I have seen in the comment section for the previous two videos, especially the one where I said robbery, where I feel it was a robbery. And now I know people say, well, it wasn't that wide, so therefore how can it be a robbery? Well, first of all, if the person who got the decision shouldn't have got the decision, it's a robbery, right? Whether it is a 1 round difference, 2 round difference, it makes no difference how many rounds difference it is, because for me to beat a champion, you have to rip the titles away. You have to be convincing in it, and I don't think Canelo was convincing. Now, I can understand, again, without watching it again, I think a lot of people believe that Canelo won this fight because he was totally different in this fight compared to the first one. The first one, he was on the back foot a lot. And in this one, he was stood toe-to-toe in the middle of the ring. He was trading. But of what I can recall of it, Canelo was actually missing a lot of shots. Now, don't get me wrong, he was hurting like a Triple G. But I think that caught a lot of people by surprise in the fact that he did the complete polar opposite to what he'd done in the first fight. As I said, in the first one, he was running around on the back foot virtually the entire time trying to counterpunch Triple G. But in this one, stood toe-to-toe. And I think that caught a lot of people by surprise to say, listen, that's what he's doing, so he's trying to win this fight. So I think people are giving Canelo a little bit more credit in the fight than maybe what a real judge would or should even do. So I think maybe that may have swayed a few people, or maybe not, I don't know, and I'm not too sure if I'm making sense with it. But I do think that, okay, it's like in the old days, or well, I say old days, it wasn't that long ago, like a Joe Calzaghe. He would throw an immense amount of punches per round, but it's very difficult to score because you didn't know what was landing and what wasn't. So maybe he stole a few rounds that maybe he shouldn't have got. Okay, and I think that was the perception in this fight, because Canelo was going at him rather than backing away. People were giving him that extra bit of credit, but in reality, it's all about punches landed and defense work and all that kind of thing. Because whenever, for a lot of the shots that Canelo was throwing, it was hitting Triple G on the gloves, on the elbows, on the arms, on the shoulders, on the back. So ultimately, again, as I said, I do need to watch it again, but I do feel, though, that I'm right, that Triple G won that fight. But anyway, Triple G, being a real man about it, being a real champion, he congratulated Canelo. He feels that he won the fight. And of course, I'm sure that he's going to spend the next couple of days just chilling out for a while, relaxing, contemplating what happened, rewatch the fight a couple of times, and then come to his own decision to say, okay, yeah, you know what, maybe Canelo did win this one. But as I said, I think a lot of it was perception rather than the reality of it. But again, Maybe I'm being a bit two-faced about it, because maybe I was swayed by the commentary team, which is very, very possible. But I don't know. Again, people say you're a Triple G fanboy, that's why Triple G won. How ridiculous is that? I was very, very neutral in this fight. I'm not a huge Triple G fanboy or a Canelo fanboy at all. I rate them both pretty much the same. I didn't care who won. So no, there was no bias in this one. So again, whenever somebody disagrees with your opinion, you're a fanboy or you're on the payroll or whatever else it may be. Listen, if you guys come out with that, if anybody comes out with that, listen, just stop it now, okay? You know, there's nothing wrong with having a difference of opinion. If you guys think that Canelo won, then Canelo won. If you think Triple G won, then Triple G won. You know, that's entirely your own decision. I'm not a professional judge. You're not a professional judge. We just see it with the eye test and feel who won. So anyway, so for now, I'm going to reserve judgment. Well, I'm not really reserving judgment, am I? I've already said that I feel that Triple G won it, but I am going to watch it again. And just to see, listen, if I'm wrong, listen, I'll openly say, yeah, I was wrong on that one. I think that Canelo did win. But of course, what caps it off for me is that straight after the fight, David Haye said that he had Canelo winning. David Haye does not know how to score a boxing fight. He never, ever has. He always gets predictions wrong, and his counts on the scorecards is always wrong. So for me, if David Haye is saying that Canelo won, then that pretty much solidifies to me that I was right. Triple G won. Anyway, you drop your thoughts below, click that thumbs up and subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.